I'm Frank Magallon with Giovanni's Custom Flooring and Renovations. Today we got with us Jim and Alice Shoaf from the Maricopa Pantry. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
So far, so good.
So the reason why we're here is to educate the community a little bit of about Jim and Alice and how the Maricopa Pantry came about and what inspired them so much to go so hard on this project and to serve so many people. So what got you guys into not just the pantry but giving the way that you guys do?
We've always sort of given, and even when we lived back in Ohio, we raised food and chickens and everything else, and we just always gave to people that needed. And then I got transferred out here in 1986 to start a trucking company up, and to build a terminal for trucking companies in existence. And we moved down there where we live, and it was sort of a needy area, and we ran into a few families throughout the years that didn't really have anything.
Right.
And the one lady we took our kids to help take her food, and she hadn't had meat, and she couldn't remember when she had meat the last time. And you know, we were digging through our cabinets and our fridges, and we found some meats, and my little boys were really astounded because they said, "Dad, she was crying over the stuff that we don't even like to eat."
Wow.
Yeah.
And it just went on from there. And then about 19 years ago, the economy sort of fell apart. There was a bunch of families hurting, and we saw what they were getting from a food bank, and we figured we would see what we could do too.
Yeah.
And we just started purchasing the food, and got to the point where we couldn't do it on our own, so we had other people chipping in and helping us purchase food, and it just grew from there. Our whole goal at that time, we were doing it out of our backyard, was to get it to the point where we could service 100 people, because I wanted to bring it to the church.
Right.
And we finally did that, and it just started blossoming. Once we got it to the church, we were at the church, and we were here in Maricopa at the administration building for the school.
Yeah.
Back then when we started, it was MBCC Food Banks, which is the church we go to, Mountain View Community Church. And it is still the catalyst. But then I was here one day, and it sort of threw me for a loop, because one of the businessmen in the area came up to me and he said, "Jim, I'll donate to you, but I won't donate to church." And I started thinking there's a lot of people like that, and I asked him why, and he said, "Because if I donate to your church, I got to donate to all the churches, just like everything else." So that's when we created Maricopa Pantry.
Okay.
And Maricopa Pantry's mission is to help churches and other food banks build.
Right.
And that's Maricopa Pantry's actual mission. And the church itself actually does the food bank down there. Maricopa Pantry provides the food. We also service 2 towns in Mexico at this point. We service Pierce, Arizona when we can. We help some women's shelters, some other places around town. We have about 200 families delivered to every Saturday.
Yeah.
And these are families that are homebound, or for whatever reason they can't come.
Right.
So we made deliveries for them. We don't encourage that a great deal. We work on families who can't make it, not families who don't want to.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we do try to lift up. We don't try to enable. And if we see we're enabling, then we talk to them and get them to come themselves, or we find a way to work with them that we're not just enabling people.
Right.
I do a lot of things on the spur of the moment. I do. We've been to
kind of
Texas.
his middle name, I
Yeah.
guess.
We've been to Texas during the hurricanes. We started a thing. Somebody said, "Jim, you help Maricopa all the time. What are you going to do for Texas?" That was when the hurricane hit Rockport.
Yeah.
And went up through Houston, and I said, "Well, we're going to Texas." And somebody said, "When?" I said, "In 30 days. And we raised, and we had semis full of stuff that went with us, and trailers that went with us. And we were in Texas for the hurricanes. We took food to the Navajo Res during COVID. We've been to Gila Bend during the flood, and we were in Florence. Somewhere over by Florence, Eloy.
Right.
When our powers went out, we took over waters and stuff like that, sent waters and stuff. So we work with a lot of different people. We just love what we do.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah. It's fantastic what you guys are doing.
What's fun is that no matter what it is we're doing, there's another mission involved in it that we never even thought of.
Right.
Like one of the missions we ended up doing now at our food bank every week is that we take care of people who are coming through the courts and have to get community service hours. ROTC kids, or kids in school and kids in college who need community service hours. We can do that. I can track their hours and I can handle that for them, and it's a whole mission that we never thought of.
Yeah, because high school kids need to have a certain amount of hours before they can graduate, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that seems to change every year, but yeah, there's plenty
there's
of them.
some places too where if the kids get involved in ninth grade, if they keep a C average and do 40 hours of community service
CAC,
every year, they'll get 2-3 years of CAC at the community college.
Wow.
So there's all kinds of avenues that it branched into. We also have free legal advice with AA Raymond Law. We have Medicare, Medicaid, and Access through Katie Lambert. We have Gail Randolph works with us to help people with housing and utility bills and stuff like that, rent and mortgage and stuff.
Yeah.
Celebrate
AA
recovery.
and Celebrate Recovery, which is drug addiction, suicide, and PTSD, other things.
Okay, wow.
And then my whole crew's been, we've all got our food handler's license. We've all been trained in Narcan in case of, there's a lot of drugs out there.
Right.
We can actually stop an overdose till the paramedics get out there.
Right.
We do a lot.
We do a lot. I never thought we would get this far, to be honest with you, but we just keep growing. Everybody knows we had that fire last year and we lost everything, and we're rebuilding, and we still have a long way to go. I'm hoping that people will start seeing some of the things that are happening out there. I want to get a flyby one time and get a drone up there to take a picture here in the near future, and they'll actually see on the ground what we are going to build.
Right.
Frank's my general contractor. He knows what we're building.
Yep.
But we got a long way to go, but we're not building a food bank. We're building a complex. We're going to have an area where our church is going to be at, but that can also go for weddings, quinceañeras. We can do funerals there. Just about anything.
Right.
Along with all the community services, which are so important, because food isn't enough. People need a lot of stuff.
Right.
And at this point, the only building we have on the property is about an 1,800 square foot mobile home that we renovated.
Right.
It seats about 65 people.
Yeah.
You just can't do a lot with that.
Right.
This new building will give us the opportunity to provide services that we can't do now. We can do clothing banks. We can, maybe help people get jobs. We can teach people how to do resumes. There's just an untold avenue of directions we can go with this, because we'll have the room to do it.
Right.
And that's the whole point. Our whole point always was neighbors helping neighbors.
Yeah.
Food is a huge commodity that people need.
Right.
They need other things too.
Right.
So as they bring those needs to us, we try and figure out a way to fulfill them.
Yeah, we're hoping not only, like you said, a clothes bank, we're hoping to have we will have the food bank, but then we're going to put in a soup kitchen too. And I'm hoping that'll be open like 6 days a week, because there's a lot of people down there that don't get to eat.
Right.
And that'll get them at least one, maybe two meals
Especially in the
a day,
summertime.
especially in the summertime.
Right.
Because we work with a lot of the transients out there. We work with a lot of the migrant workers. They're great. They're so respectful.
Yeah.
And we work with a lady that actually cooks and feeds the migrants when they're out in the field and stuff for lunch and stuff. We
Supply food
to her so that she can get it to them.
Yeah, that's amazing. I remember talking to you a while back, and there was so you guys would be able to get a lot more money if you guys had a qualifying process, right?
We could.
So, you could.
We could
So
get government help.
let's talk on that a little bit, and why we didn't go that way, or why you didn't go that way, and why it's important that you didn't go that way.
There's a lot of things we could do if we would qualify people. We would qualify for different grants and stuff like that, but me and Alice consciously chose not to. Because I remember when I was a young boy, my father was so embarrassed to go get government cheese because we needed stuff to eat. And I don't want to do that to nobody. If I have to embarrass somebody, I quit. So for I don't know how many years, us and our friends funded the whole thing until we couldn't do it no more. We just got too big, and the church. Yeah. We just got too big. But I refuse to embarrass anybody, and I won't. And the one thing with the qualifying is a transient does not qualify because they can't show me proof of residency. They can't bring me a water bill or an electric bill.
Right.
So it's defeating the purpose.
Right.
The people who need it the most are the ones that don't qualify.
Or let's say you, Frank, let's say something really devastated your family and you needed food next week. You ended up in the hospital and your wife and kids needed food. you wouldn't qualify.
Yeah, and then that could easily happen.
Yeah.
It has happened, and we were able to use that actually as an example in our situation. Because we were at a food bank with Jim's 6-month-old beautiful truck out there that, cost whatever it cost. And some other people were coming in really nice cars, and some of our volunteers were saying, well, look at that car they're driving. What are they doing at a food bank? Mm-hmm. And I was able to say, hey, see that beautiful truck out there that costs whatever it costs? Jim just lost his job, and we still have bills. Mm-hmm. You can't judge anybody.
Right.
And so we made a conscious decision with our volunteers not to judge for that reason.
Yep. That's so true, because you never know what.
Because in order to qualify,
next man's going
generally
through.
what they ask for are paychecks.
Right.
Or they ask for an annual, like last year's taxes. Well, last year's taxes has absolutely no bearing on whether a family needs food today.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to climb into your pocket and know everything about you to give you food.
Right.
And we seriously, we will not ever do that.
Yeah.
Because then that's not what we
us.
stand for. That's not us.
No, we're neighbors helping neighbors. That's what we are. The other thing about neighbors helping neighbors is that everybody collaborates. Mm-hmm. The volunteers are part of it. The people who come also pick up for their neighbors, so they're part of the process. It's
Right.
this all-inclusive collaboration.
And it's become a great family.
Yeah.
I mean, at Christmas time, we have ladies bring us tamales and.
Just last week we got a peach pie.
And we know them. I mean, we had a lady grab her and pull her in because she had a son die.
Yep.
Wow.
I had a lady 2 weeks ago. Her car came in like she was getting in line, and she ran out of gas, and she come crying. And I told her, I said, this was another one like that. I said, don't cry. I'll get you food, and we have gas. We'll get your car running. And no, her son had just got run over on his motorcycle and died in the accident.
Oh, man.
And we know these people. We know so much about them that they're family to us, most of them.
Right.
They come in looking for prayer. They come in looking for a lot of things besides just food.
Sometimes they just want to talk.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why we decided, if we're going to build, we can't just build a warehouse. We need to build a building that can cover a variety of services and help people in a variety of ways.
Yep. So, in that building, we're looking at about 16,000 square foot building, about 20 foot high. And it's a big building, but it's almost not big enough.
Yeah.
Because
No.
I mean,
We'll fill it up.
After talking about the things that could possibly go on there, and the meetings and the food drives, and those are only going to get more and more as the building gets closer and
They are.
done. I mean, once that's done.
And the other thing is, people call us every once in a while. There'll be some kind of like right now there's a situation going on in that area, in the Thunderbird Farms area, where people are upset. And a politician will call, or a county commissioner will call, can I set up a meeting? Well, yeah, but you can only seat 60 people.
Yeah.
We want to be able to solve that.
We've actually had those things, and it only fit 60 people. We had people standing in the aisles and on the porch.
Yep.
Now we'll have a facility where we can actually do that. And we can,
Fill anybody who wants to go.
Yeah.
And that helps the whole county.
Yeah.
It's not even just us, it's the whole county.
Yeah, because there's still currently a lot of building going on out there.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
And they're
there's
talking about
lots.
commercial and.
And it's going to take a lot to get this done, and it's going to take the community.
Yeah.
Actually, I figure we're going to have to get outside the community if we're going to be able to fund all this. Once we get the building up is the beginning of something that I'm sort of sad about, but there's no way of getting around. Because up to this point, the last 19 years, nobody's made $1 off this food bank, not even us. We're all volunteers like everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to remain a volunteer. But if I get that soup kitchen going, I'm going to need a payroll. I'm going to need people to work the warehouse and do all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And somebody asked me what happens when you guys die. It's all set. We have actually willed this to the people of Maricopa.
To the board.
To the board.
We have a board of directors. It is willed to the board so that the board can continue this.
Awesome.
And this will stay alive way long after us. I think this will continue on through the ages.
Yeah.
Awesome. And they'll have a big, beautiful building that'll last a long time to withstand that.
Yep.
And I'm not done yet. I don't know what I'm going to do next. All I know is I'm praying that this gets up so that we can get on with the next phase or whatever else we're gonna do.
How important are the donations? I mean, there's
Oh, the
donations come from all over the place, right?
They're critical. They're coming from all over the place, but most of them are small donations.
Right.
Now we did get $75,000 from the Gold Exchange. We got 30,000 from Banner, and we got 15,000 from, I think, Exceptional Health. And we've kept track of all of that, and that's all in a building fund. We can't use it to even maintain and buy our fuel for our trucks.
Right.
That's building fund. It has to stay there.
Now, some of that's already been paid out for the building. We've got about 40% of the building paid for.
Yeah, we
still
paid
have
for
to
about
fund the rest.
40% of the building. We have to make another payment, and then they'll start cutting the building. Well, you know that.
Yep.
You know, but then in the meantime, I've got to have money to do the groundwork, to get the 3-phase up, to get the concrete. You know, there's a whole lot before we can even put the building up.
Then and all this takes a lot of money.
It does.
It does.
And on top of that, we still have to have operating costs, because I don't think people realize that it costs us money. We're
Yeah.
working out of semi-trailers, and people come down and they look and they say, well, semi-trailers, that Connexes, there's no overhead. Oh yeah, there is.
Right.
Because those run on diesel.
Those
and diesel
semis
is
actually are
costly.
running me about $100 a day a piece to run
Yeah.
when they're
Wow.
running on the diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're spending
In the summertime, at least $1,200 a
Thursday,
month.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're spending $300 a day on diesel to keep
Yep.
those things running.
Wow. We got what, 6, 8 of them out there?
Well, we got 4 trailers, 3 of them are diesels, and then the box truck when I run it to get food.
Right.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about this building is we go into the next phase of food banks. And I've already got warehouses promising me food that once we get this building up, we can fill it. The
Really?
refrigeration unit I want to buy will hold 4 semis.
Wow.
The freezer unit we have, the blast freezer unit we have will actually hold 90,000 pounds of meat, and it'll keep it at 20 degrees below zero if I ask it to.
Wow.
But it'll be 100 times more economical than what we're doing
And
with
a
diesel.
lot more efficient.
Right.
It'll cost near the
Yeah.
cost to keep it running.
Right. Proper storage space.
Proper
and-
sources and safer. I mean, look
Right.
what happened to the last bunch we had. You know, it all
Right.
burned down.
Yeah.
We can't afford for something like that to happen
And
again.
then the warehouse itself will probably hold another 5 or 6 semis of, dry goods,
Right.
commodities that we can put up and use at any given point.
Absolutely.
And those will be available to fighters, police, county. We get calls now from county, from
We
city,
actually do
and from
supply-
fire, who get families who are in some kind of an emergency crisis and they need food right now. And we're able to store a little bit and be able to help those families.
Right.
This way, we'll be able to have a lot more.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, we help them during the fires.
Yeah.
I don't know how many skids of Gatorade and
Yeah.
water and Propel that I passed out to the sheriff's department, the police department, and fire departments this last year.
Just the fire department alone, just in the last 2 weeks, they had a week-long fire out there.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people donated to that. It wasn't just us.
No, it wasn't just us.
But we were able to help them out with needs that they had.
Yeah.
So,
Middle of summer, I think one of my good friends, Schlig, came out and
Yes.
dropped off some stuff
Yeah,
to you
he dropped
guys
off
and,
some stuff, yeah.
and picked up a skid of Gatorades,
Yeah.
and he went and took them over to the football team
Yes.
at the high school. And,
I've taken
Yeah.
2 more
Yeah.
Gaylords of stuff to the football team at the high school. I don't know if they've even gotten anywhere near it yet or not, but they were huge.
that's for their summer program. Those kids
Yeah.
are outside.
yeah, I mean that's a huge help right there, just in that alone. Because man, it was hot
And they
this summer.
paid it back.
Yeah.
Those kids came down and worked.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and that's the fun part to see, is the give and take.
Right, right. And a lot of them probably don't even know or didn't even know about it until
They may not.
that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may
Yeah.
not.
So that's kind of the purpose of this video, is because if there's, some people out there that don't know what we're doing or how we're doing it or what we're doing or why we're doing it, this is kind of just to let them know that, hey, here we are.
Here we are.
This is what we're doing.
I was sitting there thinking, just, and a couple of us, there's 70,000 people in Maricopa alone. And everybody knows people all over the country. If we could get enough people to just send us $1 a week or $1 a month or $5 a month, if we could get 25% of Maricopa to give us $5 a month, we could fund and stay active and alive forever.
And most of them have Netflix.
Yes.
$16.95 a month, right
Yep.
off their credit card. They never even think about it.
Yep.
What about $5 to the food bank that helps your community?
$5.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
$5, you
Here's
can help your
another
neighbor.
thought. Last week we had 1,694 families who came and got food from us.
Wow.
If each one of those families gave us $1, look at the money we'd have.
We'd have made $1,695.
And they don't.
We didn't. We
We
brought
don't get a
in,
quarter.
we brought in $580. That didn't cover my cost of fuel for that weekend.
Yeah.
And that's the norm.
And that's the normal.
Yeah. Wow.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not griping, because we love what we do. I mean, I will be involved the rest of my life. I just know at our age, we can't take out a loan for this. We need the people to get behind us and help build this building.
Right. And you guys have a pretty solid team behind you guys. I mean, we show up to the pantry. You got.
Yeah, we had the Power Rangers there last night.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Everybody
That was a
liked
lot
that.
of fun. There,
Yeah.
I noticed some people were getting
Autographs and
autographs.
yeah, phone numbers. Not mine. Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's always fun getting out there with the kids and taking pictures with the kids and stuff. A lot of the people that are in that long line, because it is a kind of a snake line, they kind of forget about that long line that they're in, because
Yeah.
there's, you know, there's something going on.
Yeah,
and-
everybody's talking and having fun and getting to
Yeah.
know each other.
Yep.
You know, we also do the Thanksgiving dinner at Copper Sky every year, and that's amazing. Jude's going to sing again this year. I already talked to
Yeah.
him. And this guy's amazing. He can do 4 hours and not sing the same song twice, and he's
Wow.
good. Yeah, and we did a little over 400 people last year.
4 to 450.
And we call it a melting potluck for a reason, because this fat boy likes to eat. And I
For the
want to...
first year we did it, it was just Thanksgiving, so we had turkeys and all the fixins. And then we had people that came up to us and said, well, I don't eat turkey. Well, all right, bring what you eat, you know?
Yeah.
And so we turned it into a potluck, and then we had people coming up saying, well, I'm from Chile, or I'm from Costa Rica, and we have this dish. Well, bring it. Let's
Yeah, that's right.
you know, and so it's a good
Yeah,
potluck.
we get to eat everybody's grandma's favorite recipe.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
it is. You should come up. It really is.
Yeah, I think
And
we
we
will.
do. We love what we do. And then we'll be at Kids Day. Normally Kids Day, we pass out between 3,000 and 4,000 snow cones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus chips and whatever else I can dig up. And I love it. Some of the parents of these kids rode my bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid Days is coming up fairly soon.
September.
16.
September 16th. So if you're a business, you haven't heard about Kids Day or joined in, definitely an event that you want to be a part of. It's all about kids. It's all for kids. But there's plenty of people there.
And it's all about learning what resources are in your community.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be there.
It's a great
American
place to
Pantry will
network
be
as
there.
well.
I get my own hallway.
There you go.
Because we do make a mess with snow cones.
Yeah.
Most of the day with a mop cleaning up stuff. So if anybody wants to come mop, come. I'll sit down. I'm good.
So that's all we got for now. Frank with Giovanni's Custom Flooring and Renovations. Thank you, Jim and Alice, for coming by
Thank you
and
for having
Thank
us.
you for doing
and
this.
letting us know the story.
But check us out at maricopapantry.org. You can see pretty much everything about us.
We'll
Or come
post.
see us any Saturday morning. We're there from about 6:30 to about noon, and we could use the help, and you'll have a good time.
Yep, and we'll post the QR code. So if you want to donate, like they said, $1 from everybody or $5 from a handful of people will help put this building up and help support
running.
other people in the community for years to come. So
And $5 a month isn't bad to feed a family and support a cause like this.
see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.